most expensive piece of clothing I have. It comes with a black gown and a cap. Hello everyone, welcome back to the SLP Peep. I am Janell, and today we are talking about graduation. Now, I've already done a few what to do after graduation videos. This might become a theme for the month of August. It might not. Now, I graduated in 2020, so there are some things that are a bit different for my graduation from other graduations, but this will not focus on that. Instead, this video might be more applicable for other people as well, namely what to do, get the paperwork, get organized, and make sure you have everything put together. I'm going to go through a little bit of my experience of right before graduation, kind of, and after graduation, and some ideas and things to keep in mind for when you graduate yourself, no matter what your degree is in. If you are interested in this sort of content, please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's go on about graduation. So as a speech-language pathologist, right before graduation, you will most likely have a final check, make sure you have the correct grades, the correct GPA, nothing is lingering behind. It's a time where you and your academic advisor or your college advisor, the person that's going to make sure that you're on track, it's a time for you and them to actually check everything. The requirements to graduate are not the same as requirements to get a license. There are overlapping features. There are times when to graduate is part of the requirement to get a license, but there are other differences as well. Some universities might require students to take and pass the praxis before they actually graduate. I did not go to one of those universities, but I can imagine some might, just because that is a requirement to get your license. But for the most part, it's just going to be making sure your grades are good, you have your hours clocked in, and yeah. Not for nothing, but those hours required are really important. I've actually had multiple people in my graduating class that did not graduate with me because they did not have the required hours. Again, this was 2020, and people were, honest to goodness, kicked out of their placements because of, circumstances. So that's about it. As it was proven at my graduation, you actually don't have to go to your graduation ceremony. It's nice, but you don't have to. In order to get your temporary license, which, by the way, yes, you must have a temporary license before you get fully licensed, there are a few things you need to do, such as have your diploma. Please make a copy of your diploma and send that in. Some states may require that you take and pass the praxis before you get your temporary license. State of California does not, but you must pass your praxis exam before you become fully licensed. And some states may require that you have a letter written from your university director program director at your university. For the most part, most states have packets that you fill out which details what you need in order or relative order, and they actually make it a lot easier than what I'm saying right now. So you graduated, you started your paperwork, you have yourself a CF job. Now, what is a CF and how does it differ from a CFY? In essence, they're the same thing. In reality, they mean two different things. CF stands for clinical fellowship. The Y stands for year, clinical fellowship year. Most of the time, a graduate for speech-language pathology will apply for a CF or a CFY and will take them about 9 months to complete, not a full year. With all the paperwork that's involved and the waiting to hear back, that part might tip it to a year. In order to get this, you must have a supervisor. Chances are you're not going to be working in a one-on-one private clinic where it's you, one of the therapists, and clients. Chances are you'll be working for a company of some sort, whether it's a medical company, a school, a private clinic with multiple speech therapists. The great part about this is that you're not going to be alone. You'll have a supervisor that you will have to report to at least 2 hours a week, I think minimum. and they get to observe you for an additional 2 hours a week. If you work at a semi-larger company, you will most likely have other speech-language pathologists that are working alongside with you that you can bounce ideas off of. They're not your supervisors, but they've been where you were, and they might have some great ideas that your supervisor may not know. Finances. Get finances in order. Depending on what year you even listen to this video, it's going to change. In a future video, I will link a video up here about finances. For most states, you're going to have a few weeks period, hopefully a few weeks, maybe a few days period, between submitting in your application for a temporary license and actually receiving your temporary license. This is a good time to get finances in order. Figure out how you are going to do your CF. As mentioned before, CF/CFY, minimum requirement is about 9 months. Now, what if you already know you're going to be stressed out and 9 months is not going to cut it? You need more time. In the state of California, you can do full-time CF/CFY and PRE, whatever. Or you could do part-time. What that means is basically you work 20 hours or less a week, and I think you have 2 years to complete your CF. I need to check up on that. Some people may want this option because they already know they're not able to work full-time. If you choose to go this route, please check your state requirements first. Checking for praxis and other required documents kinda sucks, but it's needed. I've applied to jobs where I can take my praxis either during my time working there until, required to get a full license, or I had to take the praxis well before I even got hired. Personally, I took the praxis while in school, but check everything. There's a lot that's involved with this, and this is one reason why it takes a few weeks between submitting an application and getting your temporary license. So check to see what your state needs and get it done as soon as you can. Last but not least about preparing for your CF is to know your supervisor. I was very lucky where my CF supervisor was actually my supervisor my last placement in school. I had a friend that took the very first clinical fellowship job that was offered to her, and she could not wait to leave. For the person doing their CF, they must have a minimum of 2 hours direct supervision and 2-hour non-direct supervision. That's still 4 hours a week from the supervisor's schedule that they have to take out. Not all supervisors can do this. So that in a nutshell is pretty much the story of what to do after you just graduate. There's a lot to keep in mind. Thankfully, most states, territories, province, so on, so forth, have a general outline for recent graduates to follow in order to easily transition into a clinical fellowship and easily transition into being fully licensed. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe this video if you are interested. For the question of the day, what were some requirements you were not expecting? I was surprised that some jobs required you to take the praxis before you even got hired. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a terrific day. And until next time, bye-bye.